Welcome to another fabulous episode of hashtag Savvy Social Saturday. And I'm super excited because of LinkedIn's international presence that we get to travel the world and meet so many new connections. And so today I'm super excited to be speaking with Godson Ekwum. And he is a colleague of mine in Uganda. And I'm so thrilled to make his connection and to learn more about his amazing mission, which we'll get into today. So I want you to think about this for a moment. What does it take to follow a calling of philanthropy, to become a humanitarian? That's what makes Godson savvy. So please think about what makes you savvy, and I'm going to play a video clip to remind you of what this acronym is all about. Stay tuned. Welcome back to hashtag Savvy Social Saturday. So you're just catching this now. We go live every Saturday with one of our spotlight guests. And I love to connect other people on this platform together. So please, if you're just tuning in for the very first time, I'm Olivia Vo, your Savvy Social Strategist. And let us know what makes you savvy. So go ahead and put it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you and perhaps feature you as the next spotlight guest. So without further ado, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Godson Ekwum. He is our guest today for hashtag Savvy Social Saturday Live, and he is what we call a humanitarian and philanthropist. He is the co-founder of the Annie and Sophia Foundation, and he saw a real need to eliminate poverty in one of the Katanga slums of his Kampala community in Uganda. I believe his mission is so heartfelt and worthwhile, and it took a lot of courage to follow this and get incorporated, getting an official certification of incorporation. So we'll talk to more about Godson about that and what he may be looking for to help further his mission. So please, everyone, please welcome Godson Ekwum. Welcome. Hello, my
Hello,
friend.
everyone.
Happy Saturday.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here at this moment. I'm so happy that you gave me this opportunity to be here with you this moment. Hello, everyone. Hi, viewers. Hi, listeners. Nice to meet you all over from Kampala, Uganda. Nice to meet you.
Indeed. And, happy Saturday evening, I should say to you, because it's quite late. But you are very,
Exactly. It's getting late right now. Yeah.
it is getting late, but you're an international networker, my friend. I often see you well into the night and early mornings, commenting and reaching out to people. So I really commend you for that, making that effort.
Thanks. It's my pleasure.
Excellent. So Godson, let's get right into it. How did the Annie and Sophia Foundation get started? I was curious, was that named after someone?
Yes, it's a name for someone, for some people, for some two people actually, because we tried, we tried like registering without someone's name, and the system refused. Of course, for it to be legitimate, it has to be registered through the system of the government here in Kampala, Uganda. So I refused it, and of course, we had to look for an alternative. So the alternative was to to use names of people for it to be approved. So of course, my colleague, okay, suggested that we use her name, and of course the mother's name. Yeah, which we can call it grandmother's name for it to work out. Though we have been collaborating together. Just we started collaborating actually for it to for some more work to be done. Of course, it's not easy, but however, we managed to register it successfully. So the name Annie and Sophia Foundation was approved, and we got a certificate of incorporation. Yeah, and that's how we began the journey after the registration for more work to be done.
Excellent, because I thought that maybe they were names of children, but that is wonderful that you have a co-founder, Miss Annette. And so it comes from her name and her grandmother's name.
Exactly. It's Annie. Then Annie, we just had to make it sweet. Annie Sophia Foundation.
Excellent. And so, we're talking about your journey. Like, did you want to grow up to become a philanthropist? So how did you begin that awareness that, okay, this is something that I want to contribute to? What was your previous career or experience like that made you want to pursue this?
Well, all I can say is that, okay, should I say it's inborn from the from the mother's womb, actually, because I came out and I started seeing myself helping those in need while growing up. Of course, I'm not rich, but I have this feeling that no one deserves to suffer. You know, no one deserves to suffer. And of course, it's always good to help one another. Of course, I always listen, go to church, listen to the pastor's word, what they say, preach. So I said, let me try it out to see if it really costs anything to help someone. So literally, it does not cost anything to help someone. It costs nothing to give. So I try giving. I sometimes I could give what I am to eat, but I said, let me share. They say you share what the little you have, share from the little you have. So that's how I started sharing from the little I have to those in need. Yes, there are people who like don't have that opportunity to even take a cup of tea in a day. So actually, those days I could get something from the house, from the home, and give, share with neighbors, share with people. So it started in me. I thought I could resist that. Unfortunately, I guess that was how I was, created to be. And of course, I've got testimonies of people saying, "Oh wow, you indeed have, compliments." I do get me as all I want is just a thank you. I don't want anything in return because they say if you give and give cheerfully, when you give cheerfully and accept gratefully, everyone is blessed. Yes. So I give cheerfully with a pure heart and without expecting anything in return. So that's how I kept on growing, regardless. Because I could, of course, when I'm moving in the street, on the way, people could approach me, okay, say, hello, excuse me, please, that. And I hardly say no, actually. I hardly say no to them. That's my weakest point. I hardly say no to them. And of course, I have to do something. I check my pocket. If I have, I don't give them the cash, but I tell you, okay, let's go there and I see what I can give you to eat since you say you're hungry because I don't like seeing people starving. It's not in me. And also, yes, I don't have enough to give, but of course, I always have this in mind. You share with the little you have. So that's how it started. I started sharing with the little I have, and I think it has helped me a lot to the extent of it has made friends for me, like a lot of friends, both the good ones and also those of benefit, they are there. But of course, I've been able to create that community of togetherness. And of course, I've told people how to give. Yeah, some of my friends, I always tell them that if you want to be my friend, you have to learn how to give. And of course, from the example, from what they say I do, because I also do give them. But so some changed and they started giving, helping also other people. So and one surprised me one day, it was a few years ago, surprised me and told me, Godson, please take this. I'm giving this to you from the heart, bottom of the heart. I said, whoa, what was that? It was, you know, actually, it happened like this. He told me one fateful morning, he came, approached me, telling me, please, can you escort me to the bank? I want to exchange some US dollar notes because his mom just came from the US. So it's just so happened he had some, notes of US with him. So okay, I told him, okay, later we shall go there. So reaching there, he exchanged the money in Ugandan shillings. It was about 1,150,000 Ugandan shillings, 1,150,000 Ugandan shillings. That's approximately, by then it was $300. So after exchanging, the man counted half a million, that's about 500,000, and gave it to me and told me, Godson, please have this, take this. I was so surprised. I couldn't, believe this is happening. And I said, is it what one gets from, being a philanthropist or being helpful to people? So I took it easy. I took the money because he insisted. I took it and I said, thank you very much, brother. And may God bless you. And be assured your reward is coming. I'm happy you're doing this. It's not doing, don't do it because I told you to learn how to give, but I'm happy you are doing this, okay? So I kept the money for a month, thinking that maybe in case of any backfire will come in. So kept it. After a month, wow, I said, nothing, no backfire. I'm free then to enjoy the money. You understand? So that's how I started creating that community of togetherness among my friends. Because sometimes a friend would call me out, say, "Come, I buy for you lunch." Whoa! I said, "What is happening? Are you? Is this for real?" But I'm happy that they have changed. It's touched them because when they saw, they were saying how I was giving, how I was helping those in need. Because back then they could come approach me and ask me, "Brother Captain, I didn't have this. What?" I said, "Please, don't worry. Let's go." So to sum it up, I think I was born with that, and I'm so grateful that God gave me that heart of giving, such kindness, such heart. It's not everyone that possesses that. Yeah, though we all have good hearts, but due to the things happening these days, people are now a bit strapped and stringent in giving out. But for me, for my case, because every morning when I wake up, I thank God for the gift of life, and I move out to see what the day has for me. Yeah, because I don't, they say nothing is easy when you are lazy, but everything is easy when you are busy. So I love being busy, and I don't love being seated, idle like that. I love keeping myself busy. At least if I get those few coins, few, shillings, I would at least it's something. It's I can be able to share and also get something for myself. You understand? So basically,
Excellent.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a wonderful story, Godson. Wow, thank you for sharing. And I
pleasure.
love that you say that you were born with a heart for giving, and that not everyone has that, but you've been able to develop that, throughout your life. And you're teaching other people, creating this community of togetherness that
Mm.
just teaching them in small ways how they can start giving. If you want to be more,
Yeah,
learn how to give.
yeah. No, it costs nothing to give. It costs nothing to give.
Costs nothing to give. Indeed, indeed.
Mm.
And let's talk a little bit about the Katanga slums. Because we don't have a particular image, right, of what the conditions are like. And you were so kind, to send me some pictures before our live stream. So let me go ahead and share that screen because I love for you to just to walk through, what you're seeing, help us to understand. like what the situation, what the people are like in Katanga. All right, so let me
Okay.
share my screen one moment here. And this is it right here. All right, oops, I went too far down. Okay, so this is the typical community of Katanga. Can you tell us what?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's everywhere. Not most rural areas. It's not only in one place. It's in mostly in rural areas, and that's a typical image. No addition, no editing, no what. It's a clear picture of Katanga. You know, residents, people living there in abject poverty.
And what makes it a slum? Because you said that it's like a slum area.
Okay, what makes it a slum? I can say it's because there's poor drainage system. First of all, poor drainage system. They don't they don't have a good drainage system. So when it rains, sometimes the land can be swampy and redundant. So when it rains, it's the water becomes stagnant in that area, and they begin to once they begin to some at night stagnant what what happens to stagnant waters. you know it invites mosquitoes, a lot of pestiflies, all those you know things. So it comes there and pest there, and start giving it some bad odor, and water does not go through, and when there's sunshine. So basically what makes it a slum is because it's a wetland area, first of all, and people just come and build. You can see sign of the kind of materials they use. They use blocks, some use mud to construct, some they use mud to cover behind. It's uncompleted, because of the low income earners, and of course not everyone is earning from that community. Some don't, they just move around, look for petty jobs, something to do in order to fend, to feed, to eat for the day, to get breakfast, so basically all I can say is, because in Kampala I say there are places whereby people regard us rich man area and the poor man area. You understand? So Katanga slum is regarded as the poor man area for people, for those living abject poverty, living below the poverty line. So as you can see from the pictures, those are the things we see: stagnant poor drainage system, stagnant water, you know, sewage actually, and also this of course rubbish being thrown. There is no proper rubbish system. They just throw polythene bags, all those things attributes to that.
Yeah, and these pictures really like shocked me, right? With the poor drainage system, because when it rains, I can imagine there's so much backup and flooding that impacts
Exactly.
people's homes.
Yeah, too much floods. Actually, some when it rains heavily, you can see the water, flooding, like water entering into people's, huts, people's rooms, people's, they are now floating on the water. Some people have died due to that, due to the cause, due to that. So some people die, so you see them with their kids, carrying their kids, crying, they are floating in the water. And if you don't know how to swim or how to make your way out, to be an unfortunate incident.
So here's an example of a school that you showed me that was flooded, and you're working to help rebuild them. And I can see like the flood water right here too.
Exactly. It's because it's a school actually, and the school, they also help these those it's for those who cannot really fully pay school fees, and they accommodate them and do what they can. They teach them, you know, as time goes on, maybe with their parents or guidance or those, because some are orphans, some there in school are orphans, so not all of them have mothers and fathers. So some are orphans. So the orphans stay inside the school because I was able to interact with them. And if you can see from the last post I posted about with the kids, on a green chat, I they have they reside there. All their daily activities are done there. So from this school, it's uncompleted, and of course, some classrooms are burnt. you know from the classrooms you can see bunch, ashes around, you know and the floor, the grounds are not well, concreted because of insufficient funds. Firstly, that is the one purpose. And of course, I think the headmistress built that school to be able to help those people, the locality. And what brought me there was because of those kids. If you can look from the middle picture, those two kids that were burnt, you know, due to the cruelty of mankind, or they have some, bruises, soaring bruises in their body, as you can see. So that was what took me there, actually, because I was also not knowing that such a place still exists and such classrooms are there. Because you can see they are squeezing themselves in class with the chairs in the classrooms. They don't have enough chairs to sit down, and basically just know their way of life there is terrible.
And they just seem so grateful. Like I see you delivering some supplies to them, and they just seem so grateful for even just the most basic necessities and supplies.
Yeah, it's actually scholastic materials actually, and some food stuff. I went to give them. They were so happy to receive me, even the school. They're all thankful, grateful to us. And I said, no, you see, when you have the opportunity to help those in need, why can't we? Eh? Like you always say that the little you give, can save a soul, can help someone. So those kids, as you can see them, they can't put on uniforms because of it generates heat. So once it does that, they begin to feel it becomes scratchy. They scratch their body, so which is not good for them. That's why they're in layers. And of course, you know, as you can see, their guardian also was there to receive that. She was also happy. And of course, you know, basically, I can say they were happy to see me, and for me to bring that to them, they are so happy.
Wonderful. And we showed a picture earlier about, people just seeming to wandering around aimlessly without direction. And so a big part of what you're doing is providing some practical training for trade skills. So talk a little bit about that. How often do you hold these classes? What are you teaching them trade skills in?
Well, first of all, about that, I initiated that project of, because have been thinking how to help these people, this community, how to help them, for them so that they can be able to cater for themselves and for their livelihood. So I have been thinking, I thought about it for days. So something came in my mind. There's a proverb that came in my mind, a saying that says, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you teach a man how to catch that fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Wow. I say, really? Okay. So I then had to translate it to my own understanding. So that's when I figured out that after my research, I figured out that to help these people and stop giving, you can't continue giving them food, you know. You keep giving them food. Will you give it? You can't give feed everyone. And of course, what if you give them food today and there is no fund or something to get the food from, to buy the food, to purchase the food? Will you? How will you feed them tomorrow? No. So I said, okay, let me. I sat down and thought of teaching them free hands-on skills. So, of course, focusing in Katanga slums, not Arab, but I was mostly focusing there, free hands-on skills. So I thought of those skills because why they are suffering, because they don't have the applicable skills, free hand skills applicable, that can help them emerge in the market and be, because we need skills that are competitive in the market, not just the skills that will make you redundant, but practical hands-on skill. That's why it's called free hands-on skill. So I thought of those skills, those things that can make someone busy, wherever he or she is. So first in our list, we have liquid soap making. Liquid soap making, of course, involves is totally involving your hand. You have to use your hand to make all the process is through by your hands, with your hands. You don't need any machines. You don't need to purchase any machine to do it. So yeah, that is one, liquid soap making. And again, we have hairdressing. Obviously, for ladies, some those that want to plait your hair, disorganize it and rearrange it. That's hairdressing. Then also barber, as haircut, it's also hand. You can use your hand. You don't need any modernized machine. You just you can start from the little you have, from the low, just depends on the machine. My old machine can work, but these days, of course, due to technology, they're bringing new good machines around. So, but our emphasis here is on the hand, free hands-on skill, not on the type or kind of what you are using to do it. But as long as you can use it with your hands to keep the hand busy, it's what we are looking at. So we have here also manicure, pedicure. So manicure, pedicure, of course, we all know the meaning. Working on the nails, fingers. Yeah, because actually we as humans, we ought to cut our fingers and clean them, make them neat, nice. So of course, we don't need anyone to tell us that. So, and of course, so why it's the word given is because of the attachments, the artificial things you add there, so to make them look nice, especially for ladies and women. So those are you know the other part of it. And we have tailoring. Tailoring is also a part of the skill. It's involve you using your hands. Sit down the machine, play with the legs. As playing, and the hands. Everything has to be accurate. Threading everything. So tailoring is also part of it. We all know what tailoring means. Then we have now makeup. Makeup. Yeah, in this world of today, ladies, before they go out, they want to, design their face, put lipstick, all that in their face to look flamboyant outside, and so but makeup, yeah, it's a hand skill. One needs to learn. It's not easy, apparently. That people think that you just hold the brush or whatever and start painting your face. No, it has to be proportional and accurate. So it's also a skill. Makeup is also a skill. Yeah. So, and also
Actually,
there are more to that, but right
yeah.
now, what are the ones we're focusing on?
Beautiful, Godson. And I love that because these are skills that we can use with our own two hands to start with, right? To start with. We don't need like fancy machines or anything like that. It's
Exactly.
personal skill. So it's a personal skill that we can learn to do for ourselves and then teaching others and then creating like a livelihood or a business from it. So I think, it's
Yeah.
very practical how you thought this up. And yeah, it's remarkable that you're providing sort of like this training for everyone. So I wanted to share one last picture because I absolutely love this. I love this photo that you sent me. And I study happiness and humor and laughter and fun, and so this picture just really made me smile. Can you tell me about
Mm.
this group of children here?
The picture down below the flyer, talking about the picture below the flyer. Oh,
Yeah,
which
these
one?
kids look so happy. Like I just am overjoyed looking at their big
Excellent.
smiles, and it makes me curious, what is it that they are smiling about? And I can only imagine, like they don't
Well,
have like fancy toys or or things, but they just seem so grateful and
yeah,
so joyous
because
and so pure. Like what
well,
you said, it's so pure.
yeah, because why they are so exuberant like that because of firstly, you know, people in rural areas are the ones suffering the most, and some of these kids they roam around, loiter around. Some of them go far areas within, of course, within the vicinity, but in other places, of course, looking for what to eat, and of course, they come back why hungry. They don't have what to eat. So, and these are the people that are suffering the most, really. And of course, they are in the Katanga areas. Where else can you find them? Also, of course, right now, recently, you can find them on the streets of Kampala. On the roadside, they're begging for food, what to eat. But you see, people, I always say people, they eat, but they waste food. Yet there are people outside there, kids outside that need some of those food to eat. So it hurts me to see those that waste food, because I don't agree with wastage of food. And if you can't finish the food, please take what you can eat. That's always how we're taught. We take what you can finish. Yeah, don't waste. Wasting is not good, because there are people out there that don't have what to eat. So visiting those people, first of all, they were so happy, and as you can see, their smiles, and of course, they're holding plate of food in their hands. You know, eating nice, delicious food, which they have never eaten in a lifetime, in years. So it gives me so much joy to see them smiling, and actually feasting while they're smiling, which is good and which is something wonderful. So basically, those kids, they are based in rural areas in Katanga slums. And of course, they're happy to receive me. They receive me and my team, my friends, the volunteers. They were so happy. And of course, it was a picture time. I had to tell them, smile more, smile further, give me that action point. So that's what you can say from the looks of things. They had to give their best, do their best to make the picture more appealing from what you're seeing there.
I love it. Oh my gosh, this has been so awesome, and we could have an ongoing discussion on and on the whole Saturday. Um, and what I want to say too about your mission, and I want everyone to know this, please reach out to Godson in any way that you can if you feel that you would like to support his mission, because there's still so many restrictions when it comes to fundraising, right, for something like this in Uganda and in Africa. And I love that you're giving them practical trade skills training. And then you're also giving them some startup capital, right? Like some startup capital so they can go and make a livelihood. So when
True.
they're done with the training, whether that's the tailoring, liquid soap making, urban barbering, they'll have some tools, a kit, a toolkit or of some
Yeah,
sort that they can take further and really feel like independent, right? That, okay, they can
exactly.
make this further. So I know that we talked about, GoFundMe, and you said there's some challenges with setting that up. And I used to think that PayPal was accepted everywhere. PayPal is like universal. And you're like,
No.
no, I can send you PayPal from Uganda, but I can't receive any funds from the US. So,
Yeah. Indeed.
can you tell us a little bit about an alternative? Because I think you mentioned to me something about an alternative way that we can, help you to donate or make charitable contributions.
Well, okay, I will emphasize further about the paper stuff. Yeah, the paper stuff is in some countries in Africa, you can't send money through paper, whether in US, Europe, Asia, but you, the African, can send to that person, but receiving is a challenge. Yeah. So for my own part, what I did, I just, it was sometime like I know I there was some donations I wanted to make. So I was thinking of how it's gonna work. So I had to plead for with someone to help me do it temporary, so that I can receive that donation and maybe close that chapter for but he did it, he helped me, but I had to struggle on how to get out that money from the paper. Yeah. So though there were so many conditions, restrictions, so I was able to muddle through with that, with getting out that donation from that PayPal account. Of course, right now his system is down. He told me he cannot be of help anymore because of he will not stay in Uganda for a long time. So of course I understood, and I told him, okay, no worries. I thank you for helping out. So the alternative method I've came to realize, to know, or to get to know, is Sandwave. Sandwave, of course, I just got to learn about it. Should I say last year? Sandwave is an immediate and fast option. And of course, though a few minutes, it takes a few minutes to arrive. What a person has to do is either go to the website or the mobile application, download the application, fill in the details, fill in the contact, my contact number, telephone number, which is provided, and the names, Godson Ekwum, then process, do the needful, then street, put the street name. Yeah, you can say Kampala. So if at all you don't want to ask, you can put Kampala, or then process it. You can connect it with your bank account. What I know is it will ask you details of your account. Then you can, that's the possible way through SendWave. And once you send it, to take a few minutes to arrive on my phone, like, takes a few minutes to come, and it comes directly on my mobile phone number. Okay, here we have what we call mobile money. It's fast and easy means of sending. You can be here, like you can be in a suburb, in a city, in another city, and send to someone in the market or trying to buy something. It comes directly on the phone, as long as you provide the right details. You provide the number, the names registered on the number, then the person will definitely receive it in seconds from within local transmission. But for international transmission, it takes a while, like say minutes, for it to come in due to traffic congestions or jam, I can say. So basically, Sendwave is an alternative option of sending, of donating, and of course, the other option, wire transfer. And of course, some people don't like that method of sharing their bank details, whatever, transferring. So, but Sendwave is person to person. Yeah. Apart from that, otherwise, PayPal was also a good option because I noticed people like using PayPal to send. It's a bit convenient. They can't release much of their details. But of course, SendWave does not give me much details. I will just see the message: you have received this so person sent this to your mobile wallet account using SendWave, and only that's all I will see from my own side. So the rest is the person that tried to do it, but only I will see the names of the person or the person that sent the money, and obviously, and of course, purpose. You can put donate to donated donations. Yeah, basically that's the possible means to send to donate.
Wonderful. So yes, so if you feel in your heart today after hearing and meeting Godson and connecting with his LinkedIn profile and just keeping up with his progress. I mean, he often posts pictures of his progress, of the activities he's doing with this humanitarian work. So if you are feeling um, giving in your heart today, please consider checking out S.A.V.V.Y as a way to process a donation to help him further, the Annie and Sophia Foundation. I think when you sent me your proposal for, the training and building schools and building community, it was like 30 million Ugandan shillings, which equals to about 8,000 US dollars. And so, wow, right? Wow. Like there can be so
Yeah,
much impact when you can fundraise a little bit at a time. So, I wanted just to help you with your amazing presence on LinkedIn and to go beyond networking and perhaps really create some massive change in a community where you are, like such as the Katanga slums. So please consider supporting the Annie and Sophia Foundation and also just looking into S.A.V.V.Y. I've copied the URL here for the website on the screen. So, in closing, I mean, this has been so delightful, Godson, to get to know you one on one and to hear all the amazing updates you have about the work that you're doing in your community. And, we call this hashtag Savvy Social Saturday. So, I want to say that you have been with me for a very long time, just an awesome supporter on many live streams. I think that's how we met. You saw a live stream, it caught your attention, and you started commenting. And I really
yeah,
enjoyed getting to know you that way and messaging you through. And I came up with this idea five months ago for tell me what makes you savvy before I thought of this live stream. And so 5 months ago, you wrote down your savvy, and you actually went and found it in your post.
yeah. Actually, I found it in your own post, not mine. I had to look through your profile and check it out post, and I saw it. I said I must find it. I might say no. I had to scroll patiently while looking, and I finally got it.
And I'm glad you did. So I just want to share with everyone. So he had to really dig through 5 months of posting. And this is what we can learn about Godson and how he is savvy. First of all, as you can see, he's very sociable and friendly. He doesn't, segregate or condescend. And he's audacious. He's audacious and bold in pursuing his dreams and helping others. He's feeling very confident and courageous. V stands for vehemence. This is a new word, vehemence. And it's he has intense concentration and power in whatever he does that he engages in. And so I love that word, vehemence. And then he's also very versatile. Versatility is a big value of his too, because it's he's able to take so many of his own learnings and experiences and transfer that to help other people and giving them a boost up in their life. And then I don't know how he has time for it because he keeps himself very busy. He's a very busy man. But when he does have some spare time, he likes to watch action movies. That keeps him young at heart.
Yeah, because I there was a time I trained, I learned like I skills got some few skills just for a few weeks, I can call it months. I went for training of kung fu, if you have heard about it, and taekwondo. Just few, not for self-defense, not to attack people or start fighting people, no, just for self-defense. But that was some time back, and of course I've forgotten some of the the skills I was taught anyway. So that's why I watch action movie to relate it with maybe what I've practiced, what I practiced then back then, and to see if it is the right thing I was doing or not. So but of recent, I really, you know, yeah, I'm not into much of movies because you're not getting tired whatsoever.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Godson, for being a guest today on hashtag Savvy Social Saturday Live. And you're just an amazing friend and a valued connection here on LinkedIn. I invite all of you to get to know Godson as well. And if you are looking to make a donation through S.A.V.V.Y, please do it with a one-on-one with him, so he can give you all the relevant details. I mean, earlier today I was on my mobile phone for S.A.V.V.Y, and so it required, his Airtel account, the phone number, location, etc. And I found the process to be very secure. And the transaction is processing. It's in the works, so it's sending through the airways right now. But you can feel confident that Godson is responsible and tracking the donations he's receiving and reporting back on how the money is being used and who it's benefiting. So I really appreciate that, Godson. And thank you so much too for just getting a copy of Ready Connect Grow. This is LinkedIn in action right here. So if you have not received your copy yet, it is available on Amazon. And you can learn more about how to take LinkedIn into action, seen into action, because it's not about creating your profile, setting and forgetting it. You really do have to engage with other people and seeing the relationships happen. So thank you, Godson, for being a supporter of this book and getting your copy, and really appreciate you.
And thanks to the authors as well. I really appreciate what they have written, and they're so, cool. Like after reading, it was touching. And of course, it can be related to real life stories, real life activities. What is happening in the real life is what is happening. What I've read from the book so far. And of course, I can say thanks to Connie Whitman, because she did really amazing job. I was able to grab some things from her write-ups, the observant part, be curious, the curiosity, and fast to serve, seek fast to serve. Yeah, that was so, interesting. I could relate it to real life situations, and how, of course, how I was able to, I'm always observant, curious, like you say, and funny, curious. Yeah, so I'm always curious and and observant, and also fast. I seek to serve. So,
Well, we've come to the
yeah.
end of our show, Godson. So gratitude, laughter for you. We're just going to put our hands together in gratitude and laugh it out.
Mm. And once again, that was a nice shade you are putting on to make the laughter more serious. It's a wonderful one. I see you have collections of them. I
I know
appreciate
you
it.
told me you like the color blues.
Thanks.
I wore my blue pair today. All
It's
right, Godson. Well, thank you again. Have a beautiful weekend. And thank you to all of you for tuning in to hashtag Savvy Social Saturday Live. And remember, we want to spotlight you. So please make sure in the comments you tell us what makes you savvy. Take care.
Take care. Thanks.